Hello, community. It's Courtney with Grand Park. Welcome to your Yoga a la retreat. I like to say treat. So today I want us to focus on one of the niyamas. So the niyamas are yoga's ways of recommendation for how to treat ourselves, approach ourselves. I thought since it's been really hot, we could focus on something called tapas. So tapas is sticking with the fire of something, the discipline of something, staying engaged. So we're gonna have a very fiery physical practice, but that doesn't mean that I'm asking you to push yourself. I'm asking you to stick with it. And that might mean coming down in child's pose, reconnecting with your breath. That might mean challenging yourself a little bit today, but let's just start with a check-in to see where we are today, just so we can kind of know maybe what's happening in the body, energy-wise, mentally, emotionally. So go ahead and soften your eyes closed. Allow your body to settle. Allow your breath to move in and out freely. And then just do a little scan of yourself. So what is tight? What is tired? What is maybe energetic or light? Noticing what's in your heart. Noticing where your mind is. And then drawing your hands in a gesture over your heart, bow your chin into your heart. And just setting the intention today to stick with it. So that might mean coming down and taking child's pose. That might mean staying maybe a breath longer in a shape than maybe you usually would. But seeing if we can stay really engaged, passionate, and committed to what we're doing today on our mat. So we're gonna start on our back today. We're gonna start with some ab work. So we're probably gonna do a little bit more of this than any of us would probably like to do. Remember that you can always take a break, that you can always just kind of take a pause to recollect your breath at any moment when you need to. So starting on your back, go ahead and hug your knees so that they're stacked over the hips. And we'll just start gently here to get ourselves warmed up before we come into abs. So hands go over your kneecaps. And then let's just make little circles here. So one direction, let this be a release for the back. Switching the direction of your circles the other way. From here, coming back to center, interlace your hands, place them right above the nape of your neck. So I'm gonna cue us through this to start. So we're not gonna pull the head up. We're gonna press the belly down and we're gonna lift up with our heart in a minute. First, take your heels out so that they're away from your knees, in line with your knees. So we have the knees stacked over the hips, the ankles in line with the knees. The head is being supported underneath the back with interlaced fingers. Elbows are wide, belly is scooping down to the mat. So we want our low back in contact here. Let your exhale move out. And then next time you inhale, lift up through your heart. So your head should fall back into your hands. We're not yanking the head up. We're lifting the heart up here. So elbows are wide. Go ahead, extend your left leg straight. Left elbow comes in towards your right knee. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, right leg extends. Right elbow goes to left knee. Inhale to center. Keep your low back in contact with the mat. Left leg extends, left elbow to right knee. Coming back to center on your inhale. Right leg extends, right elbow goes to left knee. Inhale to center. And then keep moving on your own, on your breath. Keep your low back in contact with the earth. So we're going to stick with this, staying in the tapas, the fire, the discipline of it, the focus of it for about a minute. And you can come down and take rest whenever you notice that you're out of sync with your breath. So there's no need to press on if you're disconnected from what you're doing. So tapas wants us to be engaged and present with what is. So come down, take rest at any point if you need. About another 30 seconds or not. Notice if you're breathing. If you're not, please breathe. So maybe taking 2 more each side. If you're resting, maybe you come up for these last 2 or not. So everything I say is a suggestion. Beautiful. Let your head fall back. Let your toes tap down. We're going to take one bridge to stretch out the belly. So fingertips graze your heels. Press into your heels. Rise your thighs up. Squeeze your bottom. So either pressing down with your forearms, taking your shoulders, tucking them in, or interlace your hands. And then just feel your belly getting a stretch. Feel the breath moving through. As you exhale, release your hips down. So we're going to come in for one more belly exercise. You can skip it if you want. From here, you're going to take your palms. You're going to have them on the earth, and you're going to tuck your hips so that they're over the top of your palms. Your feet are going to come tall to the sky. So your ankles are over, your knees are over your hips. And you have your palms down on the earth with the tops of your hands tucked under your hips. Press your belly down to your spine. Notice what your shoulders are doing. Send them away from your ears. On your next exhale, lower your heels just 45 degrees. And then inhale, reach it tall. A few more. Exhale down to 45 degrees. Inhale, legs go tall. Keep that low back in contact with mat. 45 degrees. Inhale, tall. Exhale, 45 degrees. Inhale, tall. So let's take a little pause here. So you have the option to take your feet down to the mat and rest, if that's going to keep you engaged and focused in the practice. You also have the option to repeat what we just did, or if you'd like a little bit more challenge, if it's bringing in energy and interest, we're going to lower our heels so that they almost touch the earth, like hovering an inch above the ground, and then sending the feet tall to the sky. So take a big inhale. Exhale, lower the legs maybe an inch above the ground. And then exhale all the way tall to the sky. Send your heels down an inch, hovering. Exhale, heels go tall. Inhale, heels hover. Exhale, tall. Exhale, heels hover. Exhale, tall. One more time. Heels hover. Inhale, tall. Tap your feet down to the earth. One more bridge pose. So heels graze the backs of your fingertips, or the tops of your fingertips. Press into your feet. Rise your thighs. Maybe interlace the hands. Tuck your shoulders. Press down into your feet. Squeeze your bottom and lift up with your thighs. Let your belly go. Let the breath move through. On your next exhale, set it down. Hug your knees into your chest. Take your hands around the backs of your thighs, and then we're going to rock and roll up and down the spine. So rocking and rolling. Keep your belly scooping into your spine. This next rock forward, cross your legs and stand on up. Or just come on to stand all the way up. So we're gonna start moving, breathing, connecting breath with movement. See if you can stay engaged, staying focused. Take your mountain pose, shoulders away from your ears. Maybe lift your toes, spread them wide, set them down. On your next inhale, draw your arms tall to the sky. Exhale, fold the body in half. Release your head. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, draw your arms tall to sky. Exhale, hands come to heart. One more time like that. Inhale, arms go tall. Exhale, fold the body in half. Let your head go. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, release your head. Inhale, draw your arms tall to the sky. Exhale, hands go to the heart. Keeping your feet where they are, sink your hips back. We're coming for our first chair pose. So like we were gonna sit into a chair. Make sure you can see your toes. If you can't, send your hips back. Rise up in your heart. Scoop your belly in towards your spine. Wrists are extending out from your shoulders. One more inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Heart reaches forward, flat back. Exhale, hands go down, step it back to plank. We're gonna pause here. So if this is too much, too soon, or if it's just not in your practice, you can tap your knees down and still work with all the same elements. So we're scooping the belly back into the spine. We're lifting up out of the shoulders by pressing down into our knuckles. So finding your version of plank. We're gonna add a little something something to this. So right arm, right hand rises, right hand taps left shoulder, and then right hand goes down. Left hand to right shoulder, left hand goes down. Moving a few times through on your own. Remember, you can do this with knees down. Keep scooping your belly into your spine. A little bit more belly work, some arm work here. See if you can keep in the breath, keep focused, keep in the fire of the practice. Staying engaged, even if it means that you come down to child's. Maybe taking one more tap each side. Hips come up and back, downward facing dog. Let's pause here. So our first down dog of practice. So maybe bending your knees, maybe pedaling out your feet. The inner arms are hugging in. So it's like your triceps want to kiss. Pressing into your knuckles, reaching your heart back for your thighs. Let your head go. On your next inhale, rolling forward to a plank. On your exhale, hips come up and back, down dog. 2 more times. Inhale, rolling forward to a plank. You can tap your knees down if you need. Exhale, hips come up and back. Inhale, forward to a plank. Exhale, hips come up and back. Looking towards your hands, right foot steps for the right hand, back foot spins flat, 45-degree angle. Right knee stacks over your right ankle, arms come to the side like wings. Reach your heart forward, press into the outer edge of your back foot so that fires up the back leg. On your next inhale, warrior one. So arms reach up, right hip reaches back, shoulders melt down, steady focus on a single point. Notice what's happening in your breath. Move the breath in. As you exhale, hands go down to earth, stepping back to plank. With your belly strength, lift your hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left foot steps, back foot spins flat. Arms come to the side like wings. Fire up the back leg by pressing into the outer edge of your back right foot. Heart reaching forward, shoulders away from ears. On your next inhale, press into your feet, making your way up, warrior one. On the left hip reaching back, heart rising tall, steady gaze on a single point. As you exhale, hands go down to the earth, stepping it back, plank, downward facing dog. So we'll take a few breaths here. You can come into child's pose if you need. So that would be knees coming down to the earth, taking them the width of your mat or a little wider than your hips. Big toes come together to touch. And then melting your heart forward, offering your forehead either to the earth or to stacked fists. So we're gonna come in for 2 rounds of that flow, connecting all those movements. See if you can stay engaged. See if you can stay in your breath. And if you notice that you're not, come down into child's pose and really focus on your breath. Here we go. Looking towards hands, step your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, extend your legs, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, hands go down, step it back, plank, down dog. Inhale, right foot steps, back foot spins flat, same inhale carries you up. Exhale, take it down, plank, downward facing dog. Left foot steps on your inhale, back foot spins flat, press it up, warrior one. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. So a few breaths here or child's pose. Re-engage, recommit. Maybe remember why you came here today, connect with that. Last round, or not. Looking towards your hands, step your feet. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps, warrior one. Exhale, go down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps, warrior one. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. So let your head go. You can come into child's pose if you need. We're going to start on the left leg this time. So stepping your left foot in between your hands. Back foot spins flat. We're in heel to arch alignment, opening up to warrior two. So extending your arms out from your shoulders. Big bend into your left knee. If you're really going for it today, the left knee is stacked over the left ankle. Shoulders are coming away from the ears, gazing over your left middle finger. We're going to be here for 10 breaths. So really let those breaths fill in. Keep yourself steady. If your breath becomes unsteady, you can absolutely straighten your leg, but stay engaged in the practice. So instead of like giving up and like walking away, maybe you extend your legs straight. Regather your breath and then rejoin us whenever you're ready. Halfway there. Really good focus of your breath. Take one more breath. The next time you inhale, extend your arms, extend your left leg. And then exhale, rebend. 2 more times. Inhale, extend and lengthen. Exhale, rebend, warrior two. Inhale, extend and lengthen. Exhale, warrior two. This time, extend your left leg. Reach your left fingertips forward, your right hip back. Left hand goes down, right arm goes to the sky. Triangle pose. Keep your bottom hand really light. So we're not pressing, we're not gripping. If it helps, you could take your palm to face forward and then use your belly strength to send your heart up for your extended right hand. Shoulders away from ears, breath flowing through. As you inhale, coming back to warrior two. Extend your left leg, hands come to the hips, left toes face into the right. Lift up in your heart. And then exhale, melt your heart forward. So letting your head go, we'll take a little break, a little rest in a fold. You are welcome to take your hands down to the ground, to blocks, to pillows, to books. Whatever you do, let your neck be soft. So reconnect with your breath. Maybe softening your eyes closed, feeling into your body. Hands come to your hips if they're not already there. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, press all the way up. So we're going to keep the left toes facing in. The right toes are going to face back to the back of your space. Warrior two. On the right, extending your arms out from your shoulders, settle them down, away from your ears, gazing over your right middle finger. Maybe the right knee is stacked over the right ankle. 10 breaths here. Stay steady in your focus, in your commitment. If you need to come out, please do. Stay engaged with your breath. Maybe softening in your jaw or your shoulders. Halfway there. See if you can take one more really full round of breath. And then on your next inhale, lengthen your right leg, arms extend up and overhead. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, lengthen, extend. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, lengthen, extend. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale to lengthen your right leg. Send your left hip back. Right fingertips reach forward. Right hand taps lightly down on the right shin. You might want to take your palm to face out. Use your belly strength to rise your heart towards the ceiling or the sky, finding your breath. Inhale back through warrior two. Extend your right leg. Take your right toes in to match your left. If you want to add a shoulder stretch this time, you could just do what we did before, hands to hips and fold, or interlacing your hands, puff up your chest, send your interlace back, maybe extending your arms, keeping as much bend in your elbows as you need, and then coming back to your forward fold. So let your head go, whatever you choose. Let your breath flow in, whatever you choose. So we're gently pressing into the outer edges of the feet here. There's a softness in the knees, so we're not pressing the knees straight. If you have the interlace without releasing aggressively, bend your elbows, take your hands to your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, press into your feet, come all the way up. Heel toe your feet together. We're gonna come in for one last standing pose, so we'll come into tree. This pose takes an immense amount of focus, of discipline. We'll set it up nice and slow. If you need to come to a wall, we're gonna start on the left side. So you could place your left hand at a wall, a door, the refrigerator. Hands come to your hips. So spread the toes on the, we're starting the left leg. So left hand can come to the wall. So spreading the toes wide on the left side, root your left foot down, press your left thigh back. So the left leg is the trunk of the tree, right foot comes in like a kickstand at the ankle. Remember, you can have your left hand at the wall if you need that support. Shoulders melt away from the ears, steady your gaze on a single point. And then bring in the breath. If you notice you're holding your breath, keep rooting, grounding down into your left foot, pressing the left thigh back. You might want to stay here. You might want to take your left hand to the wall, or right foot goes to the calf or the inner thigh. If you do have the foot on the leg, don't put it on the knee. So calf or inner thigh, press the leg into the foot as much as you're pressing foot into leg. So it's like everything's hugging to center. Notice what's happened in your breath. Bring it back. Keep in your tapas, your focus, your discipline. And that might mean you notice you need to take it down a notch. So tapas doesn't mean that we force. Tapas means that we keep moving through with what is true. So we stay engaged in the present, working with it, not against it. If you want to add any variation with your arms, maybe extending your arms up and overhead, maybe taking your hands over your heart in a prayer gesture. Keep rooting down into your left standing leg. As you exhale, release out of this side. So coming back to mountain pose. Moving over to the right leg. So maybe lifting up in your toes, spreading them wide, rooting that right foot down. If you're coming to a wall, take your right hand to the wall. If not, hands go to your hips. Get into relationship with a single point that's not moving in front of you, eye level. Left foot goes in like a kickstand at your right ankle. Maybe you notice you need to come to a wall. Maybe you notice that your breath has gotten trapped. Bring the breath back. Softening the jaw, filling in the breath. Option to stay, or foot to calf, or inner thigh. Not on knee, leg pressing into foot, foot pressing into leg. Maybe the hands come in a prayer at the heart. Maybe you extend your arms up and overhead. Find your breath. Root this pose from what's touching down, so that right foot. Maybe turning up the corners of your mouth to lighten the experience. Sticking with the breath, staying engaged, being here with whatever is going on. On your exhale, release. Really nice. Let's make our way down to our backs again. We're going to finish with some back bending, and then we will take some breaths and rest. So kind of like we started, bend your knees, soles of the feet underneath your knees. Fingertips graze your heels. Press down into your feet, rise your thighs up, squeeze your bottom, either pressing down into your forearms and tucking your shoulders, or interlacing the hands. Tucking your shoulders that way, press down, root down to rise up. Let your breath fill in. And then on your exhale, let your hips come down to the earth, one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Take a full inhale through your nose. Full exhale through your nose. Round 2 of 3. Press into your feet, rise your thighs. Interlace your hands maybe, tuck your shoulders, or pressing into your forearms, rise your hips. Use your bottom muscles, use your thigh muscles. Ground down into whatever's touching. And rise up from that anchor. Fill in the breath. Staying engaged for one more full breath. Exhale, releases down. One hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Let your exhale move out. Draw in a breath through your nose. Release a breath through your nose. Last round, or you can rest. Press down into your feet, rise your thighs, squeeze your bottom, tuck your shoulders. Steady your gaze on a single point and breathe. As you exhale, release your hips, one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Let your exhale move out. Let an inhale move in. Let an exhale move out. Take your feet wider than your hips. If you have a mat, about the width of your mat. Knees fall into touch. Just releasing in the back here for a breath. And then hug your knees into center. Arms either come wide out from the shoulders or elbows bend, palms up in cactus arms. Knees come up and over to the right. So taking a double-legged spinal twist. It might feel nice to soften the eyes closed. It It might feel nice to really let your body take up space and settle. Knees come back to center. Knees come up and over to the left. All the same things as the other side. So let the body settle. Maybe soften your eyes closed. Coming back to center on your inhale, grabbing either the outsides of the feet or the backs of your thighs, and then kicking your feet up to the sky, happy baby. So a hip stretch, a way to settle the low back down on the earth, shoulders come away from your ears. You can be still, you can rock, whatever feels good here. And then if you're rocking, find a breath in stillness. The next time you exhale, release into a comfortable position on your back. So you could lie flat on the back with the palms up. You could bend your knees, rest the soles of the feet down underneath the knees. We're going to finish with some breath and then we'll take our rest. So whatever you've chosen, rest your hands on your belly. Soften your eyes closed. We're just going to take 5 breaths. We're going to anchor the breath in the belly. So imagining the breath is starting in the belly, spreading out to the top of the head, your toe tips. And then as you exhale, imagine any stress or tension being pressed out through the belly. Maybe something will let go. So let your exhale fully out. Through your nose, inhale into your belly. Spread the breath out to the top of your head and your toes. As you exhale, release from your belly. That's 1. Through your nose, inhale from your belly to the top of your head and your toe tips. As you exhale, release out of your belly. That's 2. Through your nose, inhale from your belly. As you exhale, release from your belly. Inhale from your stomach. Exhale, release out your belly. Last one. Inhale to your belly. Exhale from your belly. From here, letting the breath move back in however it wants. And then we're going to set it up for 1 or 2 minutes of rest. So maybe extending your legs straight if that feels okay on your back. If not, you can bend your knees. Rest your feet underneath your knees. Palms come face up. Maybe a little tuck of your shoulders underneath you to open the heart. And I'll call us back in a couple minutes. Starting to bring your breath back into the body. Allow that to be a way to get into relationship with the moment. Starting to find any small movements with your fingers and your toes. If you'd like to take a really big stretch, take a really big stretch. Arms up and overhead, pointing your toes away from the body. Eventually rolling over to your right side, making a pillow for your head with your inner arm. Whenever you're ready, pressing yourself back up to a comfortable seat. And let's rest the hands in a gesture of prayer over the heart. Bow your chin into the chest. Maybe soften the eyes closed. So maybe just notice what it feels like after a really fiery, committed practice. So this is the practice of tapas, of passion, of discipline, of sticking with things. If you're interested in taking this off the mat, I invite you here to think of one thing you'd like to stay committed to this week. It could be a relationship, something at work, whatever is coming to mind. Maybe making a commitment today to stay really focused and engaged on that task or on that relationship. Giving it your all, giving it your best, staying in the practice or the passion of it. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Grand Park, for having us. The light in me sees and honors the light in all of you. Thank you, yogis.